All right, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel, man. Kevin. You know, for those who don't know me well or are just new to the channel, Kevin Durant is one of my favorite players in the NBA. Despite what he did making the move to Golden State, albeit it was weak, even though I still understood the situation why he did it, but it was still a weak move. At least I'm not like these LeBron fans where I'm, denying that his super teams, what he did making those moves were weak, and I'm not admitting it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Kevin Durant is one of my favorite players in the NBA, man. I think I still remember that game. I believe it was it Christmas Day? Or I think it was tip-off. It was tip-off, I believe. That was one of my favorite moments. I went to Oracle Arena before they moved to Chase Arena, right? Yeah. That was like one of my favorite moments. I went to like tip-off. It was the Rockets versus the Warriors. It was tip-off, man. And I actually went to the game. It was one of my favorite moments in my life, man. I hope one day I get to see him again before he retires. But yeah, that was one of the best games I've seen. Well, mind you, I don't really go to a lot of stadiums, right, to watch NBA games. I'm gonna plan on doing that more often. But yeah, that was one of my very few moments where I actually felt joy seeing, KD and Steph, Clay, Harden and Chris Paul, Draymond Green. I mean, I'm one of the very few that like Draymond Green. I know this community with, franchise and Two-Raw, they're not really big fans of Draymond, which I can't understand that, but he's a fan favorite of mine. I do rock with him. But I'm getting off topic. Yeah. Kevin Durant just doesn't know what to call home anymore, man. I think as soon as he went to Golden State, he just, really just couldn't find a place to call home other than OKC. And even with OKC, people still to this day don't like Kevin Durant, which is like, it's just crazy to see that we're about to move into what? I mean, I know the year is still early, but next year, or I believe the year after that, is going to be like 10 years plus since KD made that move to go to Golden State. And then, of course, he went to Brooklyn, stayed there for, I believe, a good 3 years, or maybe 4 years. And now here he is in Phoenix. And there's already rumblings going around that the Suns could possibly move on from Kevin Durant. I really don't know what to say, man. I really don't know what to say. I just wish that, and the thing is, I can understand why KD is frustrated because the front office of the Phoenix Suns, they didn't notify him. They didn't let him know that they're going to trade him. I can understand that, but man, it's like, I think ever since that move to Golden State, it was just bad karma for him. Every team he goes to. And now here we are where he could possibly be moved. So, according to what I've seen and a few YouTube videos that I've also seen, the 4 teams that are interested in him are the Timberwolves, the Rockets, the Mavericks, and the Rockets. Or I think I said the Rockets twice. I meant the Heat. Okay, so I'm not gonna speculate on where. I'm not gonna like drag this video out on like, oh, the Mavericks and all this. I just know one team. I know one team that's been dying to have Kevin Durant, and that's the Houston Rockets. And I'm gonna say why I said this, right? If you guys remember, right, when Kevin Durant was I believe he was on the trading market for the Nets, right? When he was on the trading market for the Nets, the one team that was willing to give up the Nets picks back was the Houston Rockets. Remember, the Rockets got, I think, all, if not most, of the Nets draft picks. They were willing to give that back up to Brooklyn in order to give them Kevin Durant. And, I think the Rockets are a really solid team, right? I've said this on RJ's podcast. I'm going to say this again. Please go subscribe to RJ Sports Facts and go tune in to the Unfiltered Sportscast. Unfiltered Sports Podcast. Jeez, I'm messing up my words. But anyway, the Rockets are a very solid team. I think they got a very young squad. They got a great head coach in Ime Udoka. And remember also, before Ime Udoka went to the Houston Rockets, one of the teams that I think they signed him, but then they just nixed it. But anyway, Ime Udoka was supposed to go to the Nets, and Kevin Durant gave Ime Udoka very high praise, and he was willing to let Ime Udoka coach him and let him go to Brooklyn, right? And of course, that whole thing nixed up, and here he is in Houston, right? But Houston has a great young team. They got Alperen Sengun, one of the best young stars in the NBA. They got one of the Thompson twins. I don't know if it's Amen or the other one. But yeah, they got one of the Thompson twins, Jabari Smith Jr. They got all these guys. Of course, they still got Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. So they really got a great team. I don't know if I said this in the last Rockets video I made, which was a long time ago. But the only thing that they're really missing is just a star-level player. Now, I don't know if I think in my Jimmy Butler video I said he might go to Houston, but obviously we all know that he went to the Warriors, right? But here we are again with Kevin Durant now possibly being in trade talks after this season, right? And I think the Houston Rockets got the best chance to get him. I think this time they're able to get him. I think if Kevin Durant does go to Houston, it would automatically make them championship contenders, right? And I think, a veteran presence and, despite what people say, he is a championship level player, right? I think with all those that come with Kevin Durant, along with his scoring and his ability to shot create and all those other stuff, right? They can really be a dangerous team. And I think Ime Udoka can really unlock, even though Kevin Durant is in his later stages of his career, I think Ime Udoka is able to fully unlock Kevin Durant to the best of his ability. And I wholeheartedly mean that because of how great of a coach he is, how great he can just get really get the attention from teams, right? From players, really, right? This is the same guy that took the Boston Celtics to the NBA Finals before he got fired, right? Or let go, whatever the case was, because of that, little situation that he had But yeah, I think Ime Udoka is the best coach. If Kevin Durant goes to the Houston Rockets, he can fully unlock and untap and tap into his full potential, and hopefully allow him, or at least let him have the ability of becoming a leader. One of my biggest gripes of Kevin Durant that I wish he had is just have some sign of leadership, right? And that has always, I believe that's always been Kevin Durant's uh, cons, really, right? That's always been his Achilles heel, no pun intended. But yeah, I think, with Ime Udoka, he can really help him become that leader that fans like me and other NBA fans, that we can actually see him in, right? And I think with all the signs pointing towards Kevin Durant being out in Phoenix, it might be a possibility that Devin Booker might be gone as well. I don't know about that, but I think out of all the teams, the Houston Rockets got the best chance. They got draft compensation. They got some young guys that they can probably, trade to get KD. Besides from Şengün and Jalen Green, maybe. I'm not really the biggest fan of Jalen Green, but you know, they got the young guys. They got their draft compensation. I'm sure. You know, they what I'm basically trying to say is, yeah, they got all the pieces to get KD, and yeah, could I be wrong? I could, but if I was willing to bet on it, I'd put a good $50 towards it that Kevin Durant will, if he is getting traded, I will put $50 on the line if Kevin Durant plans on getting traded and he lands in Houston. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. Till then.